Welcome to the Good and New podcast,
where the sponsors are fake and the hosts are buzzed.
and we say follow your feelings. Enjoy the show.
Good New Podcast, episode 32. First vacation episode. Cheers.
Cheers.
Little working hard in the morning type deal. Let me make sure you got good levels there. Let's tell me something, Kyle. Are you having fun?
Yeah, pretty good, and you?
Yeah, pretty good. And you? All right, we're good. As you can see by the background, if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're not watching on YouTube, you should be watching on YouTube.
Yeah, at least this episode.
As you can see, we are in a lovely mountain setting, and some might call it Estes Park. Estes Park? Estes Park. El Parque. Beautiful area. Hopefully going to move here within the next 5 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, the wives really aren't feeling that, but you never know.
Yeah. So we'd kind of been talking about it a few times over the last couple episodes that we had a vacation coming up to see a concert. We came out to Colorado to see Jon Pardi at Red Rocks. We'll get into that. We're going to go kind of a little bit different episode. We're going to go through all of our happenings and different things rather than the big three. So
Yep.
starting with Thursday, I've been making mental notes, but I also took some notes.
Oh, so you actually prepared?
I mean, well, up until Friday, I
Chopper in the background.
get to the chopper. Let's just see here. I'm getting. Oh, that's picking it up. It's making some weird noise. Sorry about that. If that's a little bit too much for you, we really don't care.
Yeah. Plus, there's nothing we can do about it anyway.
Nature. All right. As we get back here, so Thursday we left from Madison International.
Or regional, Dane County Regional.
So Madison International, we get there maybe slightly before Kyle and Jessica, and right away at the check-in, the lady gives me a look like our flight's fucking canceled or something's wrong. And so Denver is going to Denver, and I'm just like, thank fucking God Kyle's not here right now to give the old, that's where he's conceived.
I got plenty of that in anyway.
Yeah, kept happening throughout the week, so that was great. We get upstairs, fucking zero line at security, awesome. And the people that are working up there, TSA, if you like that kind of stuff, good for you. Hopefully you're good at it. If you're doing that job and you hate it, fucking find a new one, please, because you're awful.
You're not helping anybody.
No. The dude, as I go through the scanner, I have a little, like, thin, not even a hooded sweatshirt, just to pull over on. And he looks at me. He's like, yep, stand here. I'm going to have to do the buttocks and groin. Do you want to do that in private or do it out here? And I was like, I thought about it afterward, but I should have said, is it a better finish if we do it in private? But no, he does the whole rub down, hold on to your shorts and at the waistband, and he rubs across and up in. And every crevice was untouched, or was touched. And right in front of everyone, it was great. But he kind of made it seem like it was my fucking sweatshirt pullover thing that was the problem. Immediately following me, a kid in gym shorts and a T-shirt gets the same treatment. So I think they're filling a quota.
Yeah, just getting his numbers up for the day.
Yeah, when it's slow, they're like, oh, let's just bang out 3 of these right now because another guy got it too. And then I'm sitting there after I'm trying to get rid of the erection, and just kidding, it's disgusting. Here comes Kyle, and he's getting his bag checked because contraband or something. He had gunpowder on his hands. I don't know. What was
it was
it?
definitely these microphones that we were using to record.
These mic stands. And she just quick check, and you were good, right?
Yeah, right through.
So
And then, but Jessica wasn't with me as I came through.
Oh, yes, that's right.
The airline screwed up her birth year and said that she was born in 2023. So she had to go back downstairs, come back up. And Denver's like, where's Jessica? I was like, oh, she wasn't feeling well. And the look on your face was awesome.
I was like, whoa, that would have been good to know, I guess, but we can't really fix it at this point. And then here she comes. So, yeah, it was a good start. Over the pants hand job. Kyle, was the Unabomber. And of course, he start making jokes, and Lindsay looks at me like, "You can't say this kind of stuff.
Not in an airport.
Not in an airport anymore. Thanks, Bin Laden." And then the seat situation is direct flight. Beautiful flight from Madison International out to Denver Regional, and like what, 2 hours, 2.5?
Yeah, something like that.
Fuck, I barely finished the movie.
I didn't finish my movie.
So we went, when we decided seats, we did middle aisle, and then the next one over, aisle middle, giving the women the aisle seats to be kind.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I get stuck next to nobody, so I have extra leg room, which was just really enjoyable. Just stretching out I was almost too loose by the time we were landed. So
Too comfortable?
Too
Yeah,
comfortable.
Good for you.
Your lady seemed, she kept to herself.
Kept to herself. It was great.
She
didn't have to have
She didn't
any
get up,
interaction.
right? She
Nope.
didn't take a piss or anything?
Nope.
That's nice.
Yeah. Wasn't taking up any of my seat either.
Yep.
So that was also nice.
Yep. What movie did you watch?
I watched Big George Foreman.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't got to the part where he's selling grills yet, so don't spoil it for me.
Yeah, no spoiler alerts. I started with Carmen because it sounded interesting, like some sort of like human trafficking, something or another, or like undercover people. I don't know. And it was all fucking subtitles, and I'm bad at reading as it is, so I don't need to watch a movie to read. And I switched over to Easy A with,
Classic.
what the fuck's her name? Nope.
I can see your face.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Cameron. No.
Nope.
Anyhow, older movie, came out in the early 2000s, I believe.
Yeah. When we were in
And-
high school, probably.
I'd probably seen it a full time.
2010.
2010. Really?
Yeah, and it's Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. God damn it. She played a great part there, and I maybe have seen it all the way through one time. Maybe, but it was a long time ago, and I was laughing like Lindsay likes the movie, and some of the humor you couldn't get away with now, probably.
Yeah,
which is
probably not.
all the good stuff, anyways. But highly recommend if you've seen it and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. It's been a long time. Throw that baby on. There's some good stuff in that. And then we're all of a sudden we're on our way down, and wheels down, barely any turbulence at all. Just beautiful flight.
Yeah.
Got out here to Denver Regional at, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock.
That sounds about right.
And Kyle couldn't figure out where the rental car was.
Because it wasn't there. Like it was supposed to be.
Spell the person's name that rented us the car and see what the listeners think his name is.
Yeah, please let us know. P-H-U-C. P-H-U-C.
I'm either going to go with Pahuk or Fuck.
I immediately went with Fuck, but I think he said his name was Puck. But
Well, he's incorrect.
Yep.
That's definitely Fuck if I've ever heard it. But sweet little mini Jeep that Kyle's been beating the piss out of. This thing's going to need all new everything.
last night, I get into bed and I text Denver asking if he grabbed the pizza from where we ate last night out because there's bears in the area.
And they warn you to not leave food in the car because they will find a way to add it if they want to. Now, I didn't get the message. Phone was on silent, and I was asleep. So, did you get up and go check to see if the
No,
pizza
I
was
didn't.
in the fridge or not?
Just
You're like,
roll
fuck
the
it.
dice.
Yeah, fuck it. So let's see. We get the car. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
What
that only
else?
took like 20 minutes longer than it was supposed to.
Yep, and we made the drive. Stopped at a place for lunch. Really nice little get together there with a lake view and the mountain view, and then get to the Airbnb. And Kyle jumped the Jeep into the driveway.
Dumbest curb I have ever seen in my life, or approach into the driveway.
It was a curb basically.
You're basically jumping a curb.
But when you take it at 20 miles an hour,
That wasn't 20.
it's goddamn close. My head at the ceiling, so.
Should have been wearing a seatbelt.
So we get to the first Airbnb that's just outside of Morrison or Lakewood or whatever the city was. Only like 15 minutes away from Red Rocks. That's why we picked it. And good setup. The only small issue is it didn't have, well, it had like thermostat for like heat and maybe central AC, but they don't use
Yeah.
the AC, and they use something called a swamp donkey,
Yeah.
swamp cooler.
Swamp cooler.
Have you heard of that before?
I have not.
Okay, I had never heard of such things. Basically, just things mounted on the roof
Yeah.
and shoots straight down into the hallway.
Thing is the size of like a backup generator for a home.
Mm-hmm.
Just perched up on the roof.
Yep. And when you have that thing on, it's fucking going. Like, it's putting cold air right down into the hallway. The only problem is it doesn't, like, go through the entire house. It's just
Right.
that one spot. Well, it was fine, though.
Yeah, it worked.
And what did we do? That was Thursday night?
We went to the
Luke's.
steak place. Yep.
Luke Steaks, yeah. That was, it was a good meal, good food.
Yeah.
We like, out here, or at least in the Denver greater area, there's kind of, like, not a lot of good scenery stuff. You're either downtown in the blood and the guts of the homeless folk and everything else, or you're
Yeah.
kind of like outskirts with strip malls and random shit that, like, oh, there's a nice restaurant just plugged into this strip mall.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was good,
Yeah.
but
Very good food.
not a scenic place necessarily.
No. We ate with the elderly folk.
Yes, we did. We were there early. And then did we start the puzzle before dinner or after we got back?
I think it was after we got back.
Yeah, okay. So Great National Parks puzzle or whatever it was. 1,000 pieces.
Absolute nightmare.
Way too many pieces.
I think they gave us extra.
We thought it would be easy. It was not easy. We did finally secure the border. That's what you need to do
Yep.
is get the outside, all the way around.
Yep. Good strong borders.
Got to have the border. And then we started to get all of, like, the artsy stuff that was depicting each state, which Wisconsin had a fucking mule deer or an elk or something.
Yeah,
in it,
standing in
and
front of
mountains.
mountains.
So whoever made the puzzle's an absolute moron. And then, yeah, that was a calm night. Got up Friday, and you guys went for a nice little hike. Tell us
Yep.
about that.
Yeah, drove, I don't know, like 8 minutes down the road, and went for a little jaunt at I think it was called Green Mountain. They had some hiking trail that we walked on, and I think we were walking for maybe an hour. Turned around, grabbed some coffee, came back. And then from there, we went to that brunch place.
Oh, yeah. Bacon Social, I think.
Yep.
And highly recommend there's 3 of them you said you saw when you looked up the...
Yeah, it was like Littleton and like 2 of them in Denver.
Sure. So, kind of hipster, new type, modern brunch only, right? Or
Yeah.
like breakfast, brunch, food only.
Yep.
10 to 3 p.m. or something. Really good. They had a breakfast shot that we did, which was
Peanut butter whiskey
peanut butter whiskey.
with butterscotch schnapps.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. So you did that first. You shot that, and then they had a glass of orange juice with a strip of bacon in it.
Yep.
So you shoot the liquor, and then you do the orange juice to kind of cut, which the booze wasn't heavy. It was just pure sugar anyway.
Yep.
But it was a nice, like, mixture. And then you eat the piece of bacon.
Yep.
I thought that was great.
It was.
Nice little start to the day. Then they had a bacon flight, and they brought out 6. I know we should have taken a picture. Remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember the
It was like chili lime, French toast,
French toast one was fucking awesome.
pecan wood, barbecue. Barbecue was also phenomenal.
That was spicy, and I liked it. That was good.
Candied, and then it was the bacon of the month,
Bacon of the Month Club.
and I don't remember what that one was.
The bacon du jour.
Du month.
Du month. Yeah, it was great. And then smoked lox Benedict.
Yep.
We both had that.
Yep.
Wow.
Very good.
And then we were full as dog ticks, as my dad would say, and then decided to walk around a little bit or find something to do. So hit the old Google machine. Molly Brown.
The unsinkable.
The unsinkable Molly Brown. If you haven't heard of her, get familiar. She sunk the Titanic and then swam away or something like that. We didn't get to do the tour, but...
Yeah, the boat was sinkable, but she wasn't.
Correct. So she has a Victorian home that was her original homestead or something, or...
Yeah, in the Denver area, I guess.
Again, we showed up for the tour. They have a self-guided tour or like a guided tour, and the self-guided was $10 or $15.
Yeah, and we still would have had to wait for hours.
Yeah, so we're like, we saw it. I got to piss in the basement of the place,
There
which
you
was
go.
like a little museum for mining or something. Which
Oh,
was,
yeah, because that's how they made their money, I guess.
yeah. Didn't really look at anything. Just went in the gift shop, talked to the guy. Like, yeah, all right, we saw the house. This is good. need to get out of here because there's people eyeing up the car, eyeing up our wallets or something.
Walked into.
Oh, yeah.
We were walking back to the vehicle. It's like, oh, let's just get a drink, and try to go into the first place. It's packed. Across the street is a dive bar. It's like, oh, let's go in there. Place smelled like piss,
It did.
and we stood there for 5 minutes.
Oh,
I mean, I went back, took a piss.
Took a piss.
Uh,
No bartender ever.
No bartender the whole time.
Somebody that probably worked there in the kitchen maybe was sitting at the bar eating their lunch, presumably, and oh yeah, the bartender, she'll be right back. Okay, so we wait. Yeah, another guy comes in. They're just like talking to each other, and like nobody's in a hurry to like make any money or anything.
Yeah,
So we waited a couple
like
more.
we were an inconvenience.
Exactly, and I'm like, let's not give this place any money. Let's get the fuck out of here. I think she was actually walking back to the bar as we were
walked
leaving,
out.
which is perfect. Like, excellent timing. Then, yeah, we waited our way through the panhandlers and got back into the car and got the hell out of downtown. What did we
Yep.
see while we were driving that was interesting in downtown?
Oh,
We drove
there was
by
those statues. We
Ball
drove by-
Arena,
Yep, Mile High.
not Mile High anymore.
Empower. It's Empower Field at Mile High.
At Mile High, that's
Something like
stupid.
that.
That's put 19 fucking words in front of the original, just best name you could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a nice little drive through.
Oh, there was that homeless guy on the corner, like no shoes, just in his socks, drinking a beer and smoking
Yes,
something.
I got a video of that. We'll put that in the highlight reel. So yeah, there's some good stuff there. Good people watching. So then let's see, do the puzzle a little bit more. Get back home, have a couple pops while doing the puzzle, trying to get that thing going.
Yep.
Waiting for the show, and then we get ready, take off, and go to Morrison, which is the town, like tiny little town. I don't even know if it's a
Little
town.
hole in the wall, yeah.
I don't know if they have a post office or anything. It might just be an unincorporated little
I guess I didn't even look.
tourist kind of stop, but really cool. Well, first we drove up to Lair of the Bear,
Yep.
a recommendation by this florist or herbal dude that we met at one point, and he said it was a really cool local hike. I mean, unless we just missed the spot where you're supposed to see the cool stuff,
Yeah.
or maybe
it
we needed,
really wasn't.
yeah, maybe we didn't go as far as he had thought we should, but it was something. Got to see people pretending to fly fish just for the Instagram photo.
Yep.
Then went back to Morrison, had a beer at a little dive bar.
Lucked into a parking spot.
Locked into a parking spot, beautiful spot, and met some interesting individuals or good people watching in this little bar. There were
Yeah.
some Packer fans that I had talked to. There's another
Those
Wisconsin
old
guy.
dudes.
The old dudes that were giving their buddies shit. It's just like makes me, when I saw that, and the one guy like couldn't decide his order, and his buddies, they had to have been in their late 50s, early 60s. And his buddy's like, bartender, just go. Why don't you go help the rest of the fucking bar? This guy does this every place. He takes forever. It's just nice to see. Like, made me think of like when we're that age, like we'll still be like just roasting
ripping into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were sitting in there, and Kyle's like, "Is it raining a little bit outside?" And we were far enough away; it was hard to tell. You said you could smell
I
it.
could smell it.
He's got an old sniffer on him, like you wouldn't believe. We
Only
get
for
outside-
certain things, though.
We get outside, and yes, it was raining a little bit. Pretty dark in the skies. We're like, fuck. It was only like a 5-minute drive up to the parking lot we needed to be in. And we could tailgate. Luckily, we brought, somebody recommended to tailgate. The Airbnb hooked it up with a cooler, which was very nice of them.
Yep.
And the tailgating consisted of us just sitting in the vehicle, drinking, watching the Packers,
While it rained, yeah.
which I was fine with.
Yeah.
That was actually really nice. Rain stopped.
Oh,
Got
good
out.
people watching there, too.
Oh my God! There's a drug dealer walking around with a backpack, selling I don't know what. He looked like maybe like a coke or ecstasy
He
kind
was
of
definitely
dude.
slinging fentanyl.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you don't walk around with a backpack like eyeing people up like really shifty, wearing a wife beater. Like put a fucking shirt on. Like how are people that do
Have
that
some
stuff?
self-respect.
How are people that do that stuff so fucking stupid? Like you are being profiled because of what you've done. Like just this ugly white dude with a crazy mustache
Yeah.
and a wife beater and a really fancy backpack. I wonder what he's up to.
Yep.
Anyway, then
Not obvious.
there was two semi-professional volleyball players
Oh,
with their
God.
what looked like their mom maybe, but she thought she was young, trying to play. You go to a Brewers game, you throw a ball maybe. Packers game, throw a ball.
Yeah.
Great, fine, dandy. You don't do it around cars because we're not, children.
Children, yeah.
Well, these idiots are trying to play, like whatever you call it, where you're practicing volleying around or playing with a volleyball, like setting it and spiking at each other,
Yeah.
bouncing off cars, going under cars. And I'm just like, they're old enough to know better,
Yeah.
and nobody yelled at them. And if we were closer and it was our actual vehicle, that would have been a fun interaction.
Oh yeah.
It's fuck.
Yeah.
If that's something that goes through your head, any listeners out there, and you're like, yeah, we could do that in a parking lot, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Don't play volleyball right next to people's cars.
Get in the show. Well, get lined up to get in the show.
Yep.
Nice views, like stand in line. You're walking up this steep ramp, and then all of a sudden you turn the corner, and boom, there you are. Just it feels so cool. Like a beautiful venue. Highly recommend. I loved it. Everything about it, pretty much.
Yeah.
You might need a loan officer if you're going to have some drinks and food because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not cheap.
No.
But just be prepared for that. It's any place, really. I loved it. Randall King, never heard of him before,
Was awesome.
was really good. It rained a little bit during his set, like a light sprinkle, and then it was done.
Yep.
And then Larry Fleet, incredible.
Killed it.
And then John Party came on and just pretty much nonstop. He mixed in a few of his slower songs, but I mean, he was going to town. They were doing longer, guitar stuff, drum solo stuff, guitar
Yep.
solo stuff. And he talked to the crowd, and he's bouncing around. He had more like stage energy or
Presence.
movement presence than Larry Fleet, but they were just two different
Yeah,
kind
two
of
different
shows,
styles, yeah.
and both of them complemented each other very well.
Yep.
I have a little bit of pictures and video from that we'll throw in the Instagram post for kind of a recap. And yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. I'd definitely go back to Red Rocks.
Pretty easy. Like as you look at the stage, we were to the kind of the far right, but
Yep.
not very far up. Row 29, I think there's like 80 some rows or 100 and some rows.
Yeah, something like that.
It only seats 8,500 people or less than 8,000 people.
It's less than 9,000
Less than
people for sure.
9,000, okay. And yeah, bathrooms, I mean, a little bit of a walk, and there's
Kinda
a line.
weird, too.
Yeah, they're very strange. If you pick the weird ones, they're for everyone, and it's just like a single stall
Yeah.
shitter.
But hot tip, if you go all the way down the stairs,
Yep.
then it's men's and women's,
Yep.
which was helpful.
Yeah, just
You
beautiful.
said you saw Larry or his
Yes.
wife?
So we saw Larry as we were going to the bathroom in between him and John Party. We're going down like the steepest stairs that take you down to stage right, or would it be
That'd be
stage,
stage
left? And all of a sudden there he is. Like he's a very easily seen character with his beard, his hat he's wearing, and he's a larger dude, which makes me happy to see larger people doing so good. And I was like, great show, Larry. And he just waved. And then I realized he was talking to his wife and kid, and we followed them out. And
That makes you sound really creepy.
yeah, we were right hot on their trail, going to try to get right to their car and get in with them. No, we're
Try to
just
touch his kids and say stuff to him.
a lady did that. Remember, I told
Yes.
you. So other people obviously saw it too, and this one lady in her mid-30s, maybe, so super old. Just kidding.
That's our age.
I know, I know. Just over the top, like, oh my God, talking to the kid, and it's a kid that's maybe 4 years old.
Yeah, I think he said he was 4 on the
And
stage.
has no idea what's going on, not interested in all the people. This lady's like saying how cute he is and fucking touching him and stuff, and I'm like, just like making comments under my breath. And Lindsay obviously didn't want me to like get in a fight or anything or like start some sort of argument, but it was fucking weird. So if that lady's listening or anyone that thinks that's okay to do, you're a weirdo. Don't do that.
Well, that's also because we almost did start a fight.
Oh yeah, I had that listed here. Let's see what I called him. Paulie D and his cousin calmed down.
Yes.
So when we came back to, you were in the seats.
We were
Lindsay
in
and
our
I
seats.
Had went to the first bathroom break. We get back, and there's a group of like Jersey Shore wannabe type individuals.
Well, I think it was just him.
One guy and his girlfriend, and then a couple other guys and girls, standing directly where we just need to sit down. And I was like, "Oh, pardon me, we're sitting right here." And they like don't move. They just look at me, turn back around. And I'm like, "Nope." Like,
Well, and then Jersey Shore is like, go around us.
yeah.
And I said, no, you get out of the way. This is his seat. And then that's when Mr. Calmed Down.
Yeah, pink polo guy got really upset.
Yeah.
And you replied, "Oh, we're calm." I was like, "Yeah, you just need to get the fuck out of the way." Turns out their seats were like 4 seats over, and it was very difficult
Yeah,
for
they
them
couldn't
to
read
figure it out.
numbers.
No. Like when it comes to that, I feel like my not the smartest person, but like self-awareness and like being able to figure out like this is mine or I'm in somebody's way is pretty like second nature for
Yeah.
me. Whereas other
Just
people,
being a decent human.
yeah, it's like, how are you this fucking stupid? But so every time they walked by, Kyle insisted that we kind of stared him
Yep,
down,
definitely
and
me.
watched him walk by, just waiting for any sort of interaction. And the girls may or may not have liked that. I don't know.
No, they definitely didn't.
We just had to make sure that they knew that we were calm.
Yeah, assert our dominance.
Yeah. So other than that, I mean, great place, awesome, like crowd atmosphere. Like when John Party came on, I was just like looking at all the lights and like everything around. And just like it's so loud. He
Yeah.
played really loud compared to Larry Fleet.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
turned it up quite a bit. At one point at the end, he made a comment about how he's going to be fined $10,000, and you
For playing too long or something.
yeah, for like maybe a noise thing because he's playing too long, and he's like, "Fuck it, I don't care."
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So John or Larry, if you're listening, thank you very much. Appreciate all the effort and the great talent that you have. Easy out.
Oh, super easy.
I thought it'd be a disaster, and
It was supposed to be a 16-minute drive back to the Airbnb, and I think, yeah, it was probably right in there, maybe 20 minutes.
yeah, navigated like a champ. And our GPS takes us a different way every time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can't
Got to see all of the city.
you can't rely on like, oh yeah, I know exactly where I'm going because it's always different. That must just be adjusted with traffic or whatever. But back to the house, boom, done. And what time do we get home?
It was 12:30?
12:30.
Or was it later than that?
It might have been later than that. By the time we were all settled down too, had to get to bed because we had to play golf in the morning.
Yeah, I think it was 1:30 when I last checked my watch or whatever
Okay.
before going to bed.
Yep. Get up about 4 hours after going to bed to get ready to go
Yep.
play golf. Had a tea time at a nice place, Fox Hollow, no free ads. And I will recommend if you want to play this 18-hole course. They have 3 different nines. We played Links and Canyon.
Yep.
Very nice. I would recommend that you request the better clubs like we did, even though they
Oh, what a
didn't give them to
clusterfuck.
us. And to Bo or anyone else that's like, oh, just take your own clubs. Well, it's like for one round of like a course that we're taking kind of serious.
Yeah, because your buddy at that course told you it's got to be at least 2 rounds that he plays.
That's his rule. You got to play at least 2 full rounds, and then it makes sense to bring him. Because we looked it up, it's like I don't know, it was $100 each way to ship them without taking
Something like
that's
that.
using ship sticks, no free ads. Bringing them on the plane, I guess we could have done that, but then you got to buy like some sort of protective like bag and case
Right,
and all that
yeah.
shit. So there's an investment which we should probably make eventually.
Right.
But you run the risk of losing them or them being broke. So
Yep.
is it worth it for one round where you don't know what the fuck the course is like
Right.
or who you're paired with? So we elected to rent. Asked multiple times, okay, do you have any men's right-handed stiff shaft? Like
They noted the file for us,
and I
supposedly.
called the day prior. I called like a week prior, and when we originally called, when he couldn't make the tee time because the tee sheet doesn't open till whatever,
A week before.
they were like, "Oh, you know what? I don't know that we do. We might have one set." I was like, "Okay, well, is there any way we could have that one set, and then we can just share? We'll pay for the other fucking set if we need to." We get there, check in, everything's going fine. They're like, "Yep," and the rental club's just out there in the shack. Just talk to him, show me a receipt. We get out there, and I'm like, "All right," and then we wanted just the one set that you have that are men's stiff flex, right-handed. And the old dude's like, we don't have any of those. I'm like, well, I've been told by multiple people multiple times that you do. Nope, I can guarantee it we don't. And so now I'm getting irritated. I'm like, well, I'm like, your communication here is the problem. Like, they've told us multiple times you do. Yep, the communication is a problem here. Like, fucking great start. I need alcohol now. Like, I was getting kind of frustrated. He brings the clubs out, which are absolute pieces of shit.
Oh, just
something
trash.
Bo would use probably. And as he sets them down, and we're like needing to kind of move along, get to the starter, get to the tee box, he's like, well, I guess there are the nicer ones inside the premium that you pay more for. I was like, well, nobody's ever fucking said that. They've never. Like,
No.
when I call them, they're like, yeah, we might have one set. Let me transfer you over to the range, shack or whatever. So that's probably a lie, but we should have went in and asked. Maybe we didn't.
Yeah.
Graphite shafts, offset clubs, draw technology, so you're hooking everything. Just whippy as shit, regular flex.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we meet our playing partners. I assume they're listening because we have millions of listeners. Jake, nice guy.
Not from State Farm.
Not from State Farm. College baseball player, though. Craziest takeaway swing I've seen.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Instead of straight back, he pushes
Way out.
and does like I'd love to see like the tracker on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the dude, when he connects, like he was hitting his 3-wood, it looked like most of the time. And that thing had the fucking trajectory of a pitching wedge and the distance of a driver.
Yeah, it was insane.
I mean, he would have, your standard miss here and there. But
Yeah,
he was a
when
good
he hit
guy.
the ball well, he hit the ball well.
Thighs on him that could crush a watermelon
Easily.
or my skull. And just like I said, nice guy, late 20s. I think he says 26 or 27. His not friend, as Kyle said, maybe it's like a Make-A-Wish type situation.
That could very well be.
He's like just once a year he gets up together with this James the Giant Peach prick who's a loser.
Yep. Who lives vicariously through Jake.
Yes, he does. So yeah, Jake good, James bad. James is the type that, and I made the mistake of like, oh, I can't see, like, is there trouble up here? What does this hole do? So then every fucking hole, because they're local or they're close enough, he's given us the overview, and it's like, dude, we can see, like, this elevated tee box, I see the fairway, I see nothing, we're good. You don't have to tell me anything. Nope, he's going to tell you a full story.
So this one, you want to land it here.
Yeah.
Let it run to there.
Yeah, great. Even if I had my clubs, I don't know that I'm doing that, but appreciate it. And the most annoying part about him was that he actually could play golf decent.
Well, that was annoying, but not the most annoying part.
No, not the most annoying.
Him talking was more annoying, but also
His pre-shot routine.
Yes. Holy fuck. He must watch Patrick Cantlay way too much.
I bet he's a super fan.
Probably. Takes forever.
He steps up to the ball, 2 practice swings, steps off the ball about 6 steps back, looks at his line where he wants to hit it. Usually never hits that exact line, but he can hit the ball like straight. Steps back up, waggles a little bit, gets his feet ready, does this weird thing with his feet where he puts his left foot down, then he puts his club head down, puts his right foot down. Every fucking time he does that.
Yep. Even with putts.
Yeah, he'll back off a putt and line up and to go up, take some strokes. He'll back off again. And he wasn't making long putts. He made a few that were decent, but just like, dude, come on. And he probably, I don't think he broke 80. I'm fairly certain he was close to 90 or more.
He was, I think Jake said he was 2 over on the front 9.
Okay.
And he played worse the back 9. So.
Yeah, definitely. So it's like for all that, like, it's not necessary. Plus, we're not playing for money. Like, we didn't challenge them for anything.
God, no.
Like, they weren't playing for anything in their own cart. Like, there was no, like, competition or anything like that. Fucking figure it out, man. Hit the ball.
Yeah.
So, nice course. Good views. We'll put some video in from that. Obviously, when you play a course for the first time, it's tough. You play a course without your clubs, and they're pieces of shit clubs. It's tougher. And then at elevation, we're getting, at the elevation we were at, the distances are different, so you got to figure that
Insane.
out. And and it was a desert. You got a beverage cart, 2 of them in the first 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you didn't see him for the 3rd hole on the back 9 or something.
Something like that.
So just completely parched. That's when the game fell apart.
Yep.
When we didn't have the liquids in front of us. If I was back in the area and we had a group where you could play with your own foursome or 8-some, whatever, and I had my own clubs, I would definitely go play it again.
Yeah.
It's a good course. It was $70 for
74
greens
for
fees.
74 for the greens fees.
Yeah, and
That
cart,
was with the cart.
so not awful. Get done with golf. Took forever to find an Uber, which was really weird. Kyle found a guy that was the stunt double for Saw, the movie.
Yeah, the old guy in the first ones who created Jigsaw.
What was his name? Our guy,
Richard.
Richard.
Very nice guy.
Kyle, you found his info or reviews or something about golf and
Yeah, he likes golf and pickleball.
sure as shit, those are the 2 things he told us
Yep.
about, and then some local history and different things.
Very
He only-
knowledgeable.
He only missed or did a wrong turn 3 or 4 times, so I added another 10 minutes onto the.
And when the first review literally says he looks like the guy from Saw, I'm like, this is how it ends. We're
Yeah.
never gonna see the girls again.
Yep, it's over from this point forward. So yeah, he got us up to Boulder where the girls were at. They had what sounded like a nice day in the spa and all that kind of stuff at this hotel up there, right off of Pearl Street, which is like a not famous, but like a touristy, like well-known like destination to go, all sorts of shops, restaurants, whatever.
It's kind of like a nicer State Street.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That's a good way to describe it. We didn't walk all of it, but what we did see, and like the restaurant we decided to eat at, it was great.
Yep.
The West End Barbecue or West End Tavern, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And we get there, give it a shot, get in. They make us carry our own menus and seat ourselves upstairs on the deck. So I figured it was going to be like, oh, Jesus Christ, this place, if they don't have enough help or enough customer service to like help seat you.
Walk you up the stairs.
Yeah. So we were worried a little bit. Took a little bit for the waiter to show up. At that point, once he showed up, got the beers, got the food ordered. Everything was awesome.
Yeah, very good.
Explain that appetizer that you ordered.
It was a panic order. Denver got the burnt ends, so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try something different. I ordered the corn ribs, which, I don't know, I was expecting meat and like some sort of, I don't know, cornmeal breading or something, like deep fried.
Yeah.
It was literally taking a cob of corn, and if you like
quartered it,
and then you like whatever, they were probably 3 inches long.
Yeah.
And that was it. You just dunk it in the hot sauce or the Alabama white sauce that they gave.
Yep.
And eat it off the cob.
Yep.
Very good though.
You tried to eat the whole like cob, like bite.
I was
through.
like, yeah, I wonder how am I supposed to eat these? Like, does it somehow soften the cob? No, it doesn't.
So the cob was the bone, and then the corn was the meat.
Yep.
Basically.
Yep.
So it was a brilliant like appetizer I'd never seen or heard of before, and it was delicious. The food, like the sandwich I got, was awesome. So recommend that. I will give them a free ad. Hopefully get Cameron. He was a good waiter.
Yep.
And shortly thereafter, we hook up with the gals and make the rest of the trek to Estes Park. And pretty uneventful, easygoing drive there. Nothing crazy happened.
Yeah.
We get here, and as you can see, you get this beautiful view behind us. We're just, are we south of Estes Park? Or, I don't know.
I'm so turned around up
Yeah.
here.
The main city area, you can see, I'm pointing on YouTube if you're watching. This little deal right here is Mary's Lake. And then if you go that way down around the mountain, Moron's here. And then if you go down that way, Lake Estes or Estes Lake, whatever, in the downtown area is down there. Beautiful. What did we do? We showered and we went for a little drive to find some food.
Yep.
And had a nice meal at Rome of the Rockies.
Yeah. Dunraven.
Dunraven.
Inn. The Dunraven Inn.
It's like the Lake Estes or Estes Lake Resort, blah, blah, blah. It's got like a really cool little restaurant in there, Italian restaurant, which I didn't really realize it until we got there. We didn't even know we were going to sit down and eat, and then we decided to do it because they got us a nice seat on the deck without reservations. They just hooked it up, so thank you for that. The inside was really cool, log cabiny, but all of the fucking walls are covered in dollar bills.
Yeah.
Like
really
you
weird.
see like ceilings at dive bars or whatever else, but they did the entire
Like literally thousands of dollars.
floor to ceiling, on the ceiling, around the bar, and you get to write on 'em and do all the stuff. Maybe that's a popular thing because when we went to the Stanley Hotel, they had those bottles that people got to write on up in this sky or light track or whatever the fuck. The Dunraven, the lamb shank. Kyle and I got lamb shank braised.
Ossobuco.
Yeah, osso buco. Do you like osso buco, Charlie? What did you think of it?
I thought it was good. A little tough to eat with the bone, like to cut it off the bone.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. You?
Like if I ate that at home, I would just caveman it.
Yeah, I would too. But we were in public, so
Yeah.
frowned upon.
It was good. Mine came with the polenta square cornbread looking thing.
Yep.
Delicious.
I got mine with mashed taters.
Yep. Nice view of the lake and mountains, so nice place. I would have, I'd like to redo my order and get something different there probably next time, but
Yeah.
the help was awesome. And right after we're done with dinner, we went over, you have to drive back by the 9-hole Lake Estes or Estes Lake 9 golf course. And, excuse me, that's where you see a shit ton of elk.
Yep.
I guess on the 18-hole course you probably do too, but this one it's weird because it's like right in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
And there we see a nice bull, and I don't know how many
Bunch of cows,
Yeah, calves. jumping over fences, like right up against the wall of this like little hotel, motel, Holiday Inn deal.
Mm-hmm.
And people are just pulling. We were, excuse me, like one of the first groups to pull in.
Yep.
All of a sudden, there's like 30 people because
Yeah.
they saw him too, and they
A whole
pulled in.
van load of Mormons.
Yes, they were. Love Jesus shirts, which were awesome. So that was really cool. And we knew we were playing there yesterday, this following day.
Yep.
So we're like, oh, cool. We're seeing the elk now. Hopefully we see him tomorrow. And that was about it for Sunday night. Oh, no, that was Saturday night when we got
Saturday
here.
night. Yep.
Sunday morning up early to go hike in Rocky Mountain National Park.
Yes.
Walk us through.
So, fuck. Leave it to the federal government to screw up a national park.
Just wilderness, yeah. Like,
Yeah. We get in line to pay our entrance fee and get up to the line, and the guy working the booth asked if we, what was it, timed
entry. Yep.
And I said no, and he's like, well, I guess I'll let you in this time, even though you're late. Next time, please be here before 9 o'clock if you don't have timed entry.
So timed entry, what does that mean? Like you would have had to have gone on the website and said, I'm going to be there at...
You're allowed to go in between 9 and 2. That's what the sign said.
So you would pay like, hey, I'm going to be there after 9, between 9 and 2, and then you just go right through.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. So luckily he let us in. We were 15 minutes behind schedule compared to, like 9 o'clock.
Right. So, and if the line wouldn't have been so long, we'd have been in before 9.
True.
So
And if the GPS wouldn't have fucked us around
that too.
trying to get there.
That as well. So we wanted to go hike the Emerald Lake Trail. So we followed the directions to the parking area where we're supposed to go. And there's another lady sitting there
Booth, like check-in station.
and asks if we have reservations. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Nope, parking's full. I can't let you through because you don't have a reservation. So you're going to need to make a U-turn up here. I could have just kept driving, and there's
Yeah.
nothing she would have been able to do.
Yep.
But I turn around, make the U-turn. We find a different trail.
Sweaty Beaver Trail or something.
Yeah,
Beaver Meadows.
Swamp Beaver.
Swamp Beaver. Which none of us had heard of. We're like, it was literally the first left you could take off of the main road. We're like, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, road's just beat to shit.
Yeah.
We get back there, we park, use the facilities, and then we start walking in, and this old couple is coming down, and they tell us, oh yeah, if you go up this trail, eventually you'll get up toward the top, and there's a trail that's unmarked that cuts over. Great view. And they said 45 minutes, and at first, I mean, I was only half listening to them.
Yeah, same.
So they made it sound like, in my mind, it was a 45-minute loop. I'm like, oh, this will be easy.
Mm-hmm.
No, it took probably that long just to get up there.
Yep. And it did, kind of take, like, it would go from a gradual incline to a little bit flatter to a steeper incline to a little bit flatter. And you're walking through, like, where all the trees were burned from what fire was it? Did you look
Oh,
up?
fuck, I don't remember. Cameron?
No, that was the one. Cameron Peak is the one I said.
Okay.
It was something different.
Yeah, I don't remember then.
Anyway,
Not
yeah.
important.
So we're walking through, like, all the burnt evergreens or whatever they were.
Yep.
And then you get to a point where you're walking alongside this giant rock formation.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get past that and you get to this other spot where she's like, the trail's going to keep going to the right. But when you see the two rocks, like the big rocks, you go to the left and go to the ridge and you have a beautiful view down to the meadows and river and whatever else.
Yeah.
Got some video we'll plug in with that. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was great fucking exercise, I'll say, and a beautiful view, well worth it. So,
Yeah. Definitely worth the hike.
and then on the way down, we got to, I mean, I think this is, if I'm going to tell somebody that's never hiked before, on the way up, especially if you've never done this trail specifically, you're looking at the ground, making sure you have good footing because there's a lot of stuff that you could, trip and fall on.
Yep.
And you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere unless there's a bunch of people with you. I mean, it could be kind of a pain in the ass to walk with a bum ankle.
Yeah.
So you're kind of on the way up, just focusing on not passing out, in my case. And we didn't even have breakfast. I mean, we had a different plan in mind. It was a little bit...
We went a different way than
yeah,
we had originally
a
thought.
plan figured out, and then things kind of just changed because whatever.
Because the
And-
GPS, once again, took us a different way every
Yep.
time.
And so you're looking at your feet or your path, and then you're kind of busting ass to get to where you want to go to see it. And then you see it, relax a little bit, and on the way down, it's more of a slow walk. It's easier, obviously, but you're looking, at least we were, left and right, up and down for any sort of wildlife.
Yep.
And that's like the really fun part. I mean, the view is awesome too, but then when you're walking down, you're just like looking across the hillside here, up on that rock formation there. We saw some grouse.
Yep.
Lindsay heard something. She's like, I think there's something right here. And we're looking. There's, I don't know, 8 of them or something.
Yeah,
They're
at
just
least, yeah.
running around. So grouse. Oh, on the drive-in, we saw a couple mule deer bedded down.
Yep.
That was cool.
Or was that Martin?
Yep, Martin running around in this rock formation, shooting in and out of cracks.
Bunch of chipmunks.
That was cool. And then we get further down, and just like the opportunity or the excitement of, maybe we'll see like some elk over here, or sheep, or
yeah, or
something.
bear, or anything.
It's just like you're in a different like mind space than the hike up.
Yep.
So that was really fun. And then we get down. I'm like, oh, there's something over there moving, and it was turkeys. So we take a different trail. Like we're almost back down to like the flat meadow area where the cars are.
Yep.
But we take a different trail to go see the turkeys up close. And Kyle sneaks into the little woods above them, calls them up, and they start coming toward us. They were really close to Lindsay and I. Got a good video of them.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And they're different, obviously, than what we have at home.
Yeah, I never looked it up. I would guess they're either Rios or Merriam's, but
And they have like white feathers on their ass and everything.
yeah,
Like, they
I can't
look
remember
different.
Which is which.
Really cool. Got good video of that. And then we get back to the car, and we're like, all right, just a normal drive out of here. And we get just 2 minutes down the beaten path, and all of a sudden we see this like food truck looking big box van. And on the way in, we noticed like, oh, this is like a spot where helicopters land. They had it like a sign, like helicopter pad this way or right here. And we're driving out, and there's this big van kind of by that. And then there's a guy in high-vis green that's like walking toward us, and Kyle pulls over, and we hear the noise of the helicopter. We're like, holy shit, this helicopter's coming to land right here in front of us.
Yep.
Really cool. Got a good video of that thing coming in, landing. And we waited till the propellers were all turned off and people are getting out. We didn't know if it was an emergency, if it was a test or drills,
or a drill.
And we drive by. We get out there, and there's park rangers at the turn that we took to go back in there. And they had a sign that said emergency incident.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy asked us.
Yeah, the one ranger stopped me and came over and asked how many cars were left in the parking area.
So I don't know, we couldn't decide if somebody was out there where we just were coming down to the helicopter, or they were going to go up to get someone,
right? Or
an ambulance was going to come in there because that was the nearest best spot to get to a helicopter.
Right.
But there's something going on, so hopefully those people are okay. Unless you tried to feed an elk or something, then you fucking deserved it.
Yeah, then you deserved it.
What did we do after that?
So then we came back to the Airbnb, got changed, and went to grab something to eat. Because this was afternoon now.
Yeah.
And there was a wine festival going on in the area that we wanted to go, so finding parking was kind of a cluster. But then we get to the restaurant, and again, very good food.
Mm-hmm. Claire's, free ads.
Yep, free ad for that one. And then from there, I think we just went right back to the vehicle and then had to get over to the golf course, right?
Yeah. Yep, got to the golf course. It was a little colder now. Like this morning, it's beautiful, bright, sunny, and like the sun is hot, but it's probably only 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. The hike we had beautiful weather for, and the weather kind of turned as we were coming down.
Yep.
A bunch of cloud cover. Didn't rain on us, but it was a little colder at the 9-hole course yesterday, but better rental clubs right away. Steel shaft, wild concept.
Yes.
Still regular flex, but just the weight and, I don't know, the steel is just less whippy, even though it's a regular flex shaft. Course was really cool. What did the sign say? I forgot to get a picture of it.
Yeah. The course rule is free drops from elk droppings or tracks. So right away, you're like, and we knew we'd been there the night before and saw all the goddamn elk. You get out there are piles of elk shit everywhere. They'll never have to use fertilizer. So much elk shit and goose shit.
You just got to give them to shit on the green a little bit. The
Yeah.
greens could be a little bit healthier, and maybe they're bad because of all the goose and elk like walking on. I don't know.
Yeah.
But awesome course, just 9 holes, not a par 5 on the course. 3 par 3s or 4?
4 par 3s.
4 par 3s, one of which was, let's see, the first hole is a par 3. That other one was okay, nothing fancy. I think the
One across the water where Lindsay
Yep.
skipped it. That was awesome.
didn't get that on video. But that one you hit across this river. It's really cool, par 3, only 107 yards. And then the last 2 holes, 8 and 9, are par 3s. 9 is really cool because it's a longer one, 180 or whatever it was, over that same river, just a different spot, back to the clubhouse. So got some video and stuff of that. Really enjoyed that course. Thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I would definitely play that one again.
Hell yeah. As we said, when we move here, that'll be our local, like, we'll play that every week.
Yep.
Sneak over to the 18 hole once in a while. But highly recommend. Free ad for the 9 hole course. Then what did we do?
We went back to the can't remember what the name
Oh.
of the street is.
We went from the golf course to the Stanley
Oh, that's
Hotel.
right. Yeah, the Stanley.
So the Stanley from Stanley Hotel from The Shining. You can see it from the golf course parking lot.
Yep.
Just right up the road. And went there, walked around a little bit, sat on the front main entrance porch and had some wine and beer. Listened to a tour that went by. What did we learn that was interesting there?
In 1911, the hotel is not symmetrical because in 1911, it was built in 1909. 1911, the left-hand side, as you're looking at the front entrance, apparently there was an explosion. Blew debris all the way to the base of this mountain, which was a fuck ton of ways away.
That had to be just a shit ton of debris getting up in the wind and the wind
Yeah.
carrying it far because that was a ways away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun fact to learn. The owner's daughter or something, has a winery.
Yep.
They serve their wine there.
And that's the one where if you buy a bottle of their wine, you can sign it,
Oh yeah.
and then they have them up on display. So I'm guessing probably not a cheap bottle of wine.
No, I wouldn't think so.
So yeah, we had a drink there. Then we went to that little area, kind of like downtown, I guess. Again,
What is, I don't know the name of that street.
yeah. But this is also, I would say, almost like a State Street type thing. Bunch of shops, restaurants, and stuff all along the walkway there.
Different distillery things where you can go and do samples of. We bought some bourbon and what was the other thing?
Yeah. Their winter whiskey.
Oh yeah, yep. And then some sauce and whatever else.
Yep.
Had a drink up on a rooftop bar.
Yep.
What else did we do?
We just kind of walked in a couple of shops, looked around.
Yeah, really. Tons of stuff. We didn't look at half of the stuff.
Right.
Then grabbed dinner.
Well, first we went to that
Oh,
brewery, Rock Cut,
Rock Cut. That's right. For
where
my
we went for your bachelor party.
Yeah. That was it was nice to see it, but
Yeah.
nothing fancy.
Yeah.
The beer was pretty all right.
Yeah.
But just wanted to see it again because it was however many years ago now, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, that we were there for my bachelor party. And then dinner, pizza with elk sausage on it, which was
Yeah.
incredible.
Very
I have
good.
a leftover piece of that in the fridge this morning. I'm gonna get in me.
Yep.
Then we went and got ice cream. I think the ice cream did me in last night.
But yeah, put it over the top.
Holy shit, dude. At one point, I just had to get up and run to the bathroom. Maybe it was all the beer and alcohol all day, too. But something changed after the ice cream. And when I laid down last night, I was so fucking full.
Oh, yeah. I was okay.
Jesus. Well, and we kept drinking water, too. And it's like
Yeah.
we were really thirsty drinking water, but there's no room for it to go.
Right.
So you got a bunch of food and beer in there. Overall, awesome trip.
Yep.
Wish we were staying in Estes Park longer.
Yeah.
But with going to the show, you kind of got to stay in that area. We're not going to come here and drive an hour and a half down to that show and back at night. So it worked out well. But yeah, I'd love to be here another few days because there's so much to do and see.
Yeah.
I would definitely come back this time of year to this area and spend more time here.
I agree.
We're just about on to an hour. I don't know if we need to include anything else. This one's a short one, just a vacation recap.
Yeah, we got to get out of here in a little over an hour and
Yeah.
make the trek back toward Denver Regional, I guess it is
airport, yep. If you have any questions or hey, how much was this or what was that, reach out, comment on fucking social media or YouTube or something. Subscribe, like all the stuff, please, and thank you.
Yeah.
And enjoy. You're listening on, today's the 14th. We're recording. It comes out on the 16th. So, yeah, as long as the plane gets us back to Madison, all will be well. And, yeah, thank you guys. We were able to do this because of you guys listening.
Yeah.
The trip was paid for. It's a business trip, actually.
Yeah. Let's just write it off.
We're going to have to, yeah. Actually, we probably could do some of that.
Yeah. I mean, we are working.
Our reservation for the national park, our golf, our anything that makes
you
it...
mean our lack of reservation?
Yeah, oh, that's right. Anything that makes its way into the footage and content, we just talked about it all. Our flights, probably.
Yeah.
If the IRS is listening, you can fuck yourself, but just be prepared.
Yeah.
We're going to write everything off.
Yeah. Deal with it.
Deal with it. Yeah. Pretty good, Neil.
Good, and you?